All right, welcome to another episode of Sauna Talks with Matega Lino and Liam Drake.
Mattia Galino, who has not had a coffee this morning.
So please allow for my lack of
Articulation.
Thank you very much, and my lack of energy. However, I still believe that the conversations will be worth having a listen to.
Yeah, and I still believe that you don't need to be shackled to the chains of
Caffeine.
coffee. Yeah,
Fair.
if you are a true free man.
No, I'm free for sure. One thing about me. What do you want to chat about, man? We didn't really prepare anything.
No, actually, I have a notebook. I wrote some things down.
Fucking jolly awkward if you didn't bring it.
Yeah, I didn't, but I can remember some of them. They were less serious things. Some were a bit more serious. I think the one I wrote was what we were talking about the other day with reputation.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah, and just the two sides of the coin of reputation. Where on the one hand, because you were speaking about my my somewhat
Drake has a stellar reputation around these ends.
amongst
Neeks.
yeah, and females in some cases.
I don't think they like that word, to be honest.
Females?
I think women don't like being called females.
Ladies.
Yeah, better.
Sorry. Apologies.
No worries.
I think the conversation we were having was that the one side of, is that Mattia gets somewhat affected by his reputation, gets affected just as a subsequent effect of my reputation, and how when I do certain things, it's not only me who gets to feel the repercussions, but also him in some ways. And we're just having a chat about how, yeah, the one side of the coin being you trying to preserve your self reputation and the way people perceive you, which has some further longer lasting effects, I guess, maybe in the business world too. Not really though. And the other side of the coin being that you're free from the thoughts and opinions of others. And it's weird to, yeah, it's a bit of a tug of war between the two. What do you think?
It depends on what you are, that what it is that your goal is. Like, if your goal is to, I don't know, be liked by, call it your somewhat peers, in the Netherlands and at university and shit like that, then yeah, I think it is something to kind of consider, right? Your reputation amongst women, your reputation amongst people. We spoke a lot about first impressions, and I think that with you, if people don't know you, they get the vibe that you fucking hate their guts and hate being there.
Yeah.
Off the first impact, and I think that it doesn't really, like, the going and affecting me somewhat is because we say this often, you're the product of the people you spend the most time with, and I spend time with you here, and that's about it, to be honest. And obviously my girlfriend. So me associating myself heavily with you is is a reflection of who you are, and is also a reflection of who I am. But then again, it's that chat that we had the other day, and here it's like, who are we trying to be liked by? Neeks, like these people, like, I'm not gonna name names, but you know what I'm saying, people that are not at all trying to strive for what we are trying to strive for, or are we trying to be liked by more high-end individuals? Yesterday we had a chat with our mentor, and he said something that actually stuck with us. He said, you guys got to think about the content you make when putting it out there, because of because of what you guys what did he say? He said, "Oh, because you got to think about me as a businessman tagging my friends that I might not need what your solution is, okay? But I know a friend that's a CRM manager, so I'm gonna hit him up and tell him, yo, these guys got a good solution for you, okay?" And he said to us, because I'm sure that our friend groups and the people we hang around aren't just stoner bums than people that don't do anything. Our friends are high end friends, people that have good jobs, that are in good places in their lives, that have businesses. And so you got to target those people, even if you're not targeting your specific target audience with your content, but you target friends of me, for instance, that are people that are high end. And that stuck with me because it was like, yeah, we don't hang around these people, we don't hang around stoners and bums and people that don't do anything with their lives, because that drags you down, you know. In the same way, though, that at the end of the day, the reputation kind of reflects on me of things that you do,
Yeah.
you know. But then again, like we're talking like you're doing something crazy, bro. Like, let's be honest, like, you're not doing
I'm not a
anything.
bad
Yeah, you're not
person.
doing anything insane. And I also think that living in a small town like we do here in the Netherlands, like word fucking spreads for everything. Oaks have like nothing to do with their lives, because if you're speaking about other people, you're really not busy enough. You really need to get some shit to do with your life, you know.
Yeah.
And that was actually the bar from Marco Aurelio of like, yeah, how much time would we save if we stopped worrying about what people are thinking and what people are doing.
Yeah.
Genuine.
Yeah, and we actually, you brought this up the other day too, about how often do we actually speak about people and is it too much? And I think there's also, I mean, like, as is life, there's two sides, obviously, always. The one side of that is talking about people, divulging into situations helps you understand human nature and how you can navigate it and play on people's emotions to get them to do what you want in in a business sense. Obviously, you don't want to manipulate people all the time. Um,
Only when it helps.
yeah. Um, but yeah, I think there's definitely a fine line between gossip and learning about people. That's for sure, and learning about human nature. And I think we definitely cross over sometimes into gossip because gossip is fun. Gossip gives you little dopamine hits. Gossip is a bit of an escape from the world that we live in, and it's our way to it's our bridge to connect to the less serious world, if you want to call it that. Not that I would say we're very serious gents. However,
Wouldn't go as far as to call us serious.
no. However, I think we are perceived as very serious. If you look at the way we live, I think the way I live sometimes is perceived almost monk-like. Even now, coming to the gym in the morning, going to the sauna, there's no sort of constant. There's no pleasure really. Maybe at the end of the day when you wind down. But yeah,
When you wind down and wind down.
the cheeky glass of red.
Wow, cheeky. Wow, the red's been banging. That's interesting, man. That's interesting. I think it's interesting to speak about people sometimes if it's constructive. But I just realized, like the other night, it was me, you, and my girlfriend at dinner, and we were just having a chat. And the first like 2-3 hours of that chat, we were speaking about so many existential things, deep things, love, lust, the cardinal sins. We were speaking about so many in-depth things that didn't include humans whatsoever or people around us, right?
Or rather the lessons from people
Or
or the
yeah, sure, call it that.
yeah
I don't even recall, but maybe I'm wrong, speaking about even people in that in
no
that in that conversation. And then came the fact that we spoke about people. We got onto more gossipy, call it, topics. And bro, we spoke about it for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. And I was just kind of sitting there thinking, how much time do we actually spend doing that? speaking about people, speaking about sometimes the same event over and over and over and over, and
For
it's like
months. For
it
months.
brings it brings no real value, it brings no real pleasure, and at the end of the day it just consumes your brain and your brain cells, and just consumes energy that you could be spending on something else, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think it's interesting. I think that we've got this little corner of the earth that's ours, and we see a percentage of the earth, and I think that bothering ourselves with what other people are doing is not really relevant, because all we've got is this present right now. All I see are these sauna walls, bro, and this camera recording us, right? Nothing else, you
Mm.
know. Yet why would we sit in here and speak about people and events and places that don't have anything to do with us in this present moment right now?
Mm.
And I feel like that happens a lot.
It is a weird one in general. What are you supposed to do when you don't know what to say on a podcast?
This is why I'm
I
thinking
watch
like
I watch Oaks and I'm like, damn, how does he always have a response? Like you watch, I don't know, the I don't watch Logan Paul, but what's it, the Diary of a CEO?
Oh yeah.
He's prepped, bro.
Yeah, I
He
mean,
knows, but I mean that's a
we came
proper.
to gym at fucking 9 in the morning and then
Yeah,
hopped in a sauna and said, let's fucking record.
it's a
So
pod. Yeah, you're
I
right.
definitely wasn't ready and articulate.
But at least you know this is genuine. No script
No
whatsoever.
script, no bullshit. That's true. That's true, man. But today's going to be a pretty cool day. I mean, we can
Yeah,
chat a little bit about that. Today's going to be a cool day, bro.
yeah, yeah.
We got our first podcast interview where this podcast is having us on. I don't know if I can drop names before the episode drops, but it's one for
Wow.
it's one for SaaS founders, which is kind of interesting. I think it'll be cool. It's our first little appearance, which I think will be sick. Honestly, I think it's an
Yeah.
exciting experience. Don't really know what to expect, to
Don't
be
know what to
honest.
say.
Don't know what to say either. But it's cool, man. It's cool to start, getting the voice out there. I think something that always stuck with me and something that we've spoken about a lot is I've always wanted to do something that had to do with words. Whether it's
Mm.
teaching, whether it's speaking on a podcast, whether it's speaking even to people that come to me for advice. Like I told you in the south of Italy, where that dad brought his son to me to like try and put him on the fucking on
Right
the road,
track.
on the right track.
Yeah.
I like these things, and I think that it'll be interesting. This is like a start in that. Even how many calls have we had where guys just come up and ask advice, like, how have you guys, built till this point? What are you guys doing? And
Yeah.
I think it'll be cool to start ingratiating ourselves into this sort of field as well, of like uplifting young entrepreneurs, speaking to young entrepreneurs. So I'm excited for that for sure. Today's podcast. What are your feelings?
No, very excited. The one the one sort of inner battle that I have is I don't because I watch Alex Hormozy on podcasts and he's very eloquent and I I don't know to what extent you should articulate your words at such a high level because I wonder because Alex Hormozy himself says when you write copy, when you create advertisements and posts, you always must write at sixth grade English level. And I wonder, like even now when I sit, I think about my choice of words. Should I use a higher order word? Should I not? Should I? Does it come across as being pretentious, or does it come across as being articulate? I guess for some people it might be one, some people it might be the other. But in general, I think well, I'm excited for the podcast for sure. Don't know what we're gonna say. Just speak about our
Neither.
lives. But what you were saying, 100%, I definitely a dream of mine is to write a book, to write multiple books, to become extremely articulate in not just the English language. I think that this is a start. Speaking in front of a camera, learning to articulate your thoughts, and just exercising that muscle. It'll all culminate at some point. that means reach a climax, if that's too big of a word. And and yeah, I mean, I agree 100%. I think yours is with giving advice and teaching, and I think I would say mine is too, even though I've maybe shown less of it. I definitely am very. I would love to give a seminar. I don't even know if I would want to give it about business or if I would want to narrow it down to business. I think just to speak, because I don't like to see boundaries between business and spirituality, business and philosophy, business and this, business and that. I think they're all interconnected.
Sure.
Manza Zukov is
Articulation is on point.
and yeah, so I think this is a nice start, and I guess in general, it's also a good way to practice, right? Practice, practice speaking. I mean, we filmed the first one of this, and I was listening back on it because it just played, and I was just listening to it, and I think even listening to yourself speaking is a very good way to identify things. And yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this, but
No, I mean, yeah, that's good, bro. That's good. I'm excited today as well. Also, another thing that we've got in a bit, which we should probably get ready for soon, is that lunch meeting, which will be very cool.
Mhm.
I think there can be big opportunity coming from that as well. And I think
Yeah.
it's just interesting having these conversations with established entrepreneurs and then them seeing something in us, because now it's the second time where we've spoken to millionaires and people that are, running proper
I think
businesses.
more than the second.
Yeah, and more than the second, and they found something special in us that they're willing to invest in, whether it be time, whether it be money, whether it be whatever, and in these cases both. I think it's exciting. I think we definitely, the big thing we always speak about is, when, and this is good advice for young entrepreneurs, is when you starting out a square rolling, right? And that's week one, and then it, like, the square becomes a bit more round at the edges, and then it's week two, and then it becomes a bit more round in week three, and then it's a ball, and then by your second month, you're fucking zooming, right? And I think that that's how entrepreneurship is, however long that takes. I think the world we live in right now has created unrealistic standards for how quick it is for young entrepreneurs to get rich, because of the people online being loud about successes that have brought them,
Yeah,
you
these
know
drop shippers,
like
you
drop shipping
fuckers.
with us. You fuckers. Like drop shipping with us as well. We had an unrealistic expectation. We scaled in the first month to 70K a month, bro. Who sees that type of
Yeah.
shit? And then the losses just become a lot more difficult to take once they come. And I just think it's created an unrealistic expectation, and I think that we struggle to look back on everything we've done and be grateful for the road we've walked and how far we've gotten now. And for me, I think that it's cool to see this, where people are inviting us on podcasts now. Go back 3 years and tell fucking 18-year-old me that someone was going to ask me to be on a podcast, or that I'd have two big clients that want to both mentor me and fucking pay me. Like, I would have told you, but get lost. I'm running my little bicycle
Go
company.
swim in the
Go
lake.
swim in the lake. Go. I'm running my little bicycle company, and I just think it's interesting. And I think for young entrepreneurs, I think the one thing that I can say, and it's cliche, but it's so fucking true, is just keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. It looks like a mountain, and just break it down in bite-sized pieces and little rocks, and you'll be able to digest it all. Keep going, because there is light at the end of the tunnel. And one that I really liked from Alex Hormozy actually was, you can only fail if you quit. So if you don't quit, you're not failing. And yeah, I mean, that's me for today, to be honest. I need a coffee.
I think we can end it off right there. Thank
Beautiful,
you. Thank
beautiful.
you for that.